everybody, and welcome to today's edition of Beyond the Ordinary Show. And it's many of y'all know Raquel, but some of y'all don't. And just get ready for a powerhouse of transformational energy, just a catalyst to allow the energetic fields to really catch up with your body, your consciousness, your auric field, just what's available. And Raquel's going to tell you all about that and more. But it's going to be a powerful call. And again, if you've experienced Raquel today, I feel something more is popping through Raquel. I feel like you can't help but to keep like amplifying more and more. And every time it's just, there's more that we're ready to receive. So this is gonna be fantastic.
Beautiful. I'm glad to be here, everyone.
It's wonderful to have you here. So today we're going to get into the magnetic fields and how they affect your consciousness. And so we're going to learn why it's so important to stay with alignment with what's happening and how to expand the awareness of the role that Earth plays with the ascension of the universe, your ascension as well, but the ascension of the universe in bigger perspectives, more to give you the bigger awareness. And I love that you do this, Raquel, because it also helps us expand into the bigness that we are as well, because we're trying to catch up here in human form. And there's aspects of you, there's a bigness of you that is doing so much more. It's so important. And there's so much more that we're going to get into as well. And we're also going to open up the line for Q&A, if that's okay, Raquel, because I want people to get in and talk about their experience and see what questions are coming to mind. So again, we're going to drop in and Raquel's going to just supercharge us, I'm sure. And again, if you're new to Raquel's a catalyst for spiritual awakening. And she has a no-nonsense approach that really provides a refreshing and grounded pathway for personal growth and empowerment. She calls herself a spiritual warrior, and I say she's so much more than that, but you'll feel it in her as well. And her tagline says it all, guiding you through BS and beyond so you can get on with what you're here to do. And that's with a big exclamation mark. So she's considered one of the next generation's transformational visionaries and leaders, and she opens the dormant mind-body pathways and cellular codes of light to assist you with remembering your divine sovereignty. I'm so excited, Raquel. I can't wait. Welcome back.
It's so good to be here again. Welcome to 2022. First one together for us in this powerful month. I think we actually even changed dates from the original one in this season. And it's putting us almost smack dab in the middle of this incredible gateway we're in right now. So I'm sure that's going to be part of the topic as well. And I'm just really excited to just let everyone feel into the truth of what's being said. And so with that, before we do anything, I really want everybody to drop down into your high heart. And I always say drop down in. And that's because 99% of us are in our heads, right? You're in your head. So instead of being up here, let's everybody just take a nice deep breath. And if you can, just place your hand over your high heart. Really, really place it here. And maybe even close your eyes for a minute and just feel into the truth. And allow yourself to be in a space to hear the wisdom, even beyond the words, to really feel the energetic of what is behind the words, which is behind the intention of the discussion today, the topic, and just really drop into that awareness that is you as a incredible divine being of light. You are source energy emanating. You are perfect. You are whole in the higher dimensions. And it's just a matter of remembering the truth of who you are and what we're all here to do. So just take a moment. I want you to just take a nice, beautiful, deep breath right into your high heart and ground into that part of your body. And really be present in this now moment, which is all there is, the perpetual now, but fully bring yourself into the space, the sacred space of this conversation. And allow yourself to hear what you're ready to hear, and to let the truth go deep into your soul to awaken you into remembering. And that's my intention for tonight, today, tomorrow, whenever you're listening to this this conversation. So
Such a beautiful space, Raquel. Thank you so much.
yeah.
To kick this off, I would love your definition and explanation for everybody's benefit on this call of what the magnetic fields are and how they affect.
Okay, so we are bioelectric magnetic beings of light. We are magnetic at our core, and that doesn't sound very sexy. It just doesn't. What are you bringing me all the way? I'm just a magnetic. We are magnetic beings. We are truly magnetic beings, electromagnetic beings, to be precise. And we operate via magnetics. And so when we talk about the magnetic field, and I'm specifically talking about the magnetic field of Earth, because that's where we are in this consciousness, in these bodies. And the magnetic of the Earth is kind of the, if you will, the computer program in which everything is running upon. And again, this isn't sexy. This is right down to core mechanics of things. But the electrical and the magnetic on the planet actually are what hold consciousness, hold platforms of consciousness, hold realities into place. Okay. And the Earth, being the beautiful being that she is, and I can't think of her really as a planet. She is a very, very highly advanced being of light, actually a very high level emerald dragon, if you will. Everybody's talking about the dragons, right? She is an emerald dragon, but she is an electrical magnetic being as well. And so the magnetics in which she is emanating, and the magnetic fields that are playing out on the planet create the outer reality of what we're seeing. It's the platform, it's the energetic in which things can operate upon. Okay. And so the magnetics of the planet are what we overlay on. Everybody take a breath with that. We actually overlay. We exist because there is magnetics on the planet. We actually overlay on the magnetics of the planet. That's what creates the reality that we are actually in. And so the magnetic fields, the Earth herself, and we can go really big, we can go really small, but we're just going to stick with Earth right now. She is going through her own level of awakening. And we have been operating within a magnetic for the last, let's just throw out a number, 100,000 years. I mean, it's so big that we can't comprehend it really anyways, right? But we've been operating on a magnetic that has been the playing field for the experience of polarity and separation. It was set into motion so that we could have this deep dive into the experience of duality. And so this magnetic has been the foundational platform in which this polarity game experience reality has been playing out in. But as everyone knows, we're moving out of that. We are actually changing. And so when we talk about shifts in consciousness, it's it's very mechanical in nature. It's very precise in the way that it happens. So it's not just, oh, I'm gonna raise my own frequency and I'm gonna think better thoughts, right? That's part of it. That's one piece of it, but there's a bigger platform that is actually physically changing that allows our consciousness to play on a different magnetic, right? And stop me if I'm not making sense, because I know I'm kind of figuring out where the audience is right now. But the earth is going through a magnetic change. And for some of that, it's like, what are you talking about? You know, yeah, we have the awareness in the last, 30, 50 years, how, magnetic north has changed. We have that in the scientific, right? So there's a little indication that things are changing. But we have been operating in this through this whole civilization. So to begin to really expand our awareness beyond the platform that we've been playing on, this is really outside the box, right? And everything, all of our cellular structure, all of our energetic fields, all of our chakras, everything is overlaid onto and interacting with the magnetics. And so as we are going through this massive transformation, awakening, the planet is shifting into a different magnetic. The old magnetic platform is actually unraveling, crumbling, if you will, actually collapsing. And as that happens, and what a lot of people I think are experiencing right now, because John, I do see it. And it's really quite disheartening at times, but there's almost a global dark night of the soul going on, right? Because the electromagnetics, which has created our reality, they're collapsing. It's no longer there. And so the mind, right, the ego, the mind, the cellular, all of it is going through a transition from this actually collapsing, and the human has no reference point. There's no manual. Oh yeah, they did this back 2,000 years ago or 15,000 years ago, and they wrote. There's no precedence for what we're doing, and there's very little awareness for humanity of what's actually happening. There's very little out there to really explain it. We've been doing really well, spiritual awakening, raise your frequency, all of that. But there's so much more to the actual process of what's happening. And so as the magnetics we're shifting platforms, we're changing the magnetics, we're actually unlocking is a much, 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 much better way to describe it. Because when I'm trying to find my wording very well for this audience. When we chose, okay, because we all chose, no one's a victim here. We all chose this deep dive into the experience of separation. We are all source energy, just having experiences. That's what, creation continues to create upon itself. We are here having experiences of what it's like, and this particular deep dive here, this part of the universe was to experience separation. And we've been doing that brilliantly. We've done it pretty well, figuring out what it's like to not realize we're source energy, to not know we're creator, to think that we're limited, to think that we are just this human body. Most of humanity is stuck in that thought process, right? But when this happened, the actual organic magnetics, electromagnetics, magnetics of the planet were distorted. changed, locked down, blocked, semantics, right? But they were changed so that they did not operate appropriately as according to the organic universe and our natural way of being. Okay. And this all plays into, everybody talks about, we're only at 3 strands of DNA. We should be at 12 strands of DNA. Oh, there's 24 strands. There's 48 strands. There's 96 strands. There's all of this, we're operating at the 3rd strand. That's because of how the actual magnetics, this is a big piece of it. The actual magnetics were altered. And when the magnetics were altered, so was our ability to perceive. And it shifted and changed the way we actually even see what we think is reality. The light spectrum waves were changed. All of it, everything was affected. And so as we are in process now, and there's a lot being done, and everybody on the planet, not everybody, let me restate that. There are millions of us, light workers. You're a light worker, I'm a light worker. Everybody on this call is a light worker, but that's what we're here for. And a light player, I could say a light player, but we're doing a lot of work here. We're light workers. And whether you're conscious of it or not, you're playing a big role in helping to unravel the distortions. So as we go from this shift, and don't ask me how long it's going to take. I don't have a crystal ball. We've never done this before. I'm not sure. We're all impatient as hell. I'm first in line, impatient as hell. Let's get this done, right? But as we unlock the grids, we've talked about grids, we've talked about stargates, we know about the mother arcs, we know about the solar discs, we know about all these sacred places around the planet, all of these massive grids that, grid workers, that's another term everybody knows. Oh, I'm a grid worker, right? All of these things have been locked down and distorted, and we're in process of unlocking them. Many of us who have been traveling all over the world, oh, I feel like I have to go to Machu Picchu, or I need to go to Stonehenge, or I'm being called to Egypt, or, oh, I need to go to Rosslyn Chapel. Oh, I just have this spiritual drive to go. Most of the time it's we're going there to help unlock, because we have the skill set, we have the keys, we have the magnetics, and a lot of us helped to lock it down in the first place, because we were all the ones who decided to do this deep dive and made it all happen, because that was the directive, that was the whole point, right? So as these are unlocking, a new magnetic is just barely starting to anchor onto the planet. But as the old one unravels, it's a head trip. It is literally, this is not your week. This is not, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not spiritual enough. This is a physical thing that is happening. The magnetics that you have been overlaid at a cellular, at a subatomic level, are collapsing. And so it's like the ego, which can't follow us to the new magnetics and the new earth, the new whatever you want to call it, new earth, higher realms, there's tons of ways that we all describe this. But the ego, which is a function inside our body mechanics that runs on the old magnetics, it can't follow us into these next higher states of consciousness. So the ego is freaking out. Freaking out. How many of you guys have had your ego freaking out, telling you everything's awful, and to be scared, and scarcity, and how am I going to live, and look at the world, blah, blah, all these reasons why you're not going to survive. I think a lot of people out there right now are having even as spiritual, oh, I do all my my meditation and my yoga and I'm journaling, but it's because the ego is in the process of unwinding, dying. It doesn't have as much to grasp onto anymore, and so it's in a fight for its life. But what I want you to understand is it's a magnetic in your body that is unraveling. And as you unravel from the old, and we're bringing in the new, and you're starting to anchor into the new, this in between can have its challenges. And it's not got anything to do with, oh, I'm not spiritual enough. Oh, I haven't done my inner work. Oh, wait, I'm not good enough. Wait a minute. All those things that the ego is going to want to try to convince you that you're not good enough, that you're losing your mind. I mean, so many I talk to right now, they're, it's like I walked into the room and what was I walking in here for? I'm losing my mind. I can't remember what I was doing. Mid-sentence, can't find words, right? What was I saying? Wait, I lost it. Because that's part of the magnetic disconnecting, starting to disconnect from that old paradigm. And so it's a very interesting time. And there is, as we sit on the day that this is being recorded, February 10th, we're right smack dab in an incredible birthing gateway. This is what I'm calling it, that started February 2nd and goes into February 22nd on 2022, right? The year 2022. It's again, another huge unlocking of the old magnetic and starting to anchor into the new. And it's very much, I call it the void. We're like in the birthing canal, right? And so there's a lot that's happening that I just wanted to give a broader perspective, because your ego does feel like it's dying. It can't go with us. And that the state of just look at the state of the world. The ego is doing everything possible, but look, everything's crashing. You're not, the ego's just, but look, this is the way it's always been. This isn't going to work, right? That's the ego. But it can't follow us into that next level of the magnetics that are starting to anchor. And the new magnetics is where the new earth is. That's where all the, not to say there's not magic here, but where the real magic starts to come in, because we're no longer going to be operating in that old polarized platform. Okay, I'll stop for a second. Did any of that make sense?
It made a lot of sense. We had comments saying that people are loving your explanation. It's very grounded and it works. That's wonderful. So with this information and the shifting of the garden, you will, and for me, you talk about it collapsing, and as you were talking about, I just see it's like it's already collapsed. That our consciousness is catching up with something that's already collapsed, which makes it even more strange for us.
Well, and it's going to continue to collapse. We've got, and I also, this is, I just want to acknowledge, right? Because there's still a lot of collapsing that needs to go on. There's still so much playing out. And yes, it has already, but on this level of reality, on this level of consciousness, what we're seeing, it's all out. It's kind of a mess with what's happening. And the old paradigm and those that had the most benefit from the old paradigm, let's put it that way, don't want to lose that benefit. They don't want to lose the control. They don't want you to remember that you all have always been source, right? So there's a lot of push-pull going on. There's a lot of resistance that plays into our own ego of, are we safe? Are we going to survive this? What's going to happen? How am I going to, all the things that are going on. There's a lot in the outer reality. If anybody's watching media, which I don't recommend on any level, don't watch the news, don't read it. And I
Except
know,
watch BTO, please.
yeah. But it's like, you can't watch the news because you'd be under a rock with, head under the pillow and curled up, ready to go. But that warfare, if you will, is still playing out pretty heavy. And it's still in our face. It's still right here, right? Because we're in the in-between. And just like everyone, I so wish I had a magic ball and could look and tell you, okay, by 2032, we're going to be there's no precedence. There's no way we can tell when all of this is really going to unravel. I know that the new magnetics are starting to anchor in. There are places on the planet that many are going to start getting called ascending hubs, places in which the energetics are really starting to anchor in, and we're making that transition. And people are starting, I'm even noticing some of my clients are, oh yeah, I got a hit. I need to move to X, Y, and Z. And, it's like the fifth person today I got that from, right? It's, you're starting to feel it. A lot of people are starting to feel it. So they are starting to anchor, but the collapse of the old, it's a tribute to the amazing being of light that you are, that you're here on the planet helping to usher this through, because this is not for the faint of heart. Why do I call myself a spiritual warrior? Because this isn't the easiest thing to do. It's just the right thing and the necessary thing. And so if you're here, you have the, what's the word? Chutzpah? You have the chutzpah to get through this, because that's who you are. And it's only your ego that's still connected to the old magnetics that's running that looped fear, doubt, afraid. That scarcity polarity that's still running on that old magnetic, that is still, that we're still connected to, because we live here, right?
Mhm.
And you've known me, 10, 15 years now, 10 years at least.
10 years, yeah.
And you've heard me talk about this since the day you met me, constantly unplugging from the mass consciousness.
Yeah.
Right? Unplugging from those old magnetics consciously, and then how the body actually disconnects as well at a cellular level.
Mhm.
So this has been priority for me for a really, really long time. And I'm glad I had the years of practice of disconnecting.
And we're glad you're sharing the practices with us through the
Yeah.
work that you do, the special offers, the one-on-ones, and you just keep going and touching all these different realms. So this is fantastic. Again, so many people are writing and this makes sense. Thank you for your wisdom. There's such resonance in feeling the truth from that high heart that you invited us to, because that's
where it is. That's the only way through, guys. There is nothing in the head that is going to do this. The higher mind can't really come online until we get into the new magnetics. Everything is accessible through here, and it's really the only way.
Mhm.
It's really the only way. Your high heart is your ticket out of here. And into the higher bliss that everybody's talking about, that next level of consciousness where that old duality and polarity and all the scarcity and everything that's still running on the old magnetics dissipates.
Yeah. So Raquel, what does this mean for Susan and Donna and Donovan and Dragana and Pamela who are on the call? Like, how does this affect them on a human consciousness and in their daily lives?
Well, first of all, being aware that this is happening on a bigger level, okay? Because so many are sitting in that dark night of the soul. And they're like, I've been on the spiritual path for blah, 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 blah. Why am I still feeling this, right? And it is because you are disconnecting. So first and foremost, that awareness. And again, I have taught this technique a bazillion times, and I'm sure those who followed me are maybe sick of it. But, and this only really counts too if you're old enough to remember laughing. Okay.
I remember.
But
Yes.
I remember Lily Tomlin at the switchboard, right? Ring a ding a ding, ring a ding a ding, you know.
Yeah.
And I always visual, because the more fun you can have through all of this, the more playful and joyful and giggles you can do, the easier all this gets. If you can stay in that higher frequency, anything to do to make you laugh. That's why I think I always go into this, because I love that skit on laughing. Telling my age, but I loved it. But that whole idea of, you know, unplugging those old switchboard connections in. When I talk about disconnecting from the mass consciousness, literally, I see it like those kinds of plugs, because you walk through the grocery store, you're plugged in. You can't be. It's part of the matrix, if you will, right? You cannot be, you walk by a TV, you walk by a radio going on, anything like that, it automatically plugs in, right? And so on a conscious level, we have to be deciding, making the choice that, no, we're going to unplug from all of those things that are playing out, because the magnetics suck you in. I'm sorry, right? The magnetics are everywhere. And it's almost as we are coming into these changes, it's almost like those radio signals of the magnetics have gone from like 10 to 10,000. The powers that be, if you will, those in control, don't want you realizing and getting out of their control mechanism. They want to stay in power and have all the money and all the control, and you be a, you know, just a little, you know. So it's actually amplified significantly right now. So your awareness to unplug from that and just make it fun, make it silly. Your intention is important in this, to just know that you're unplugging from that the magnetic that is playing out in the world to the best of your ability right now, and then start visualizing. Why I'm saying it goes into your cellular structure, it's in your fields, that's what the chakras overlay, that's what your meridians overlay, it's all laid into. And so with that awareness, you can start consciously choosing every night before you go to bed, every morning when you wake up, every day at lunch, every hour on the hour if you want to, right? You can start intending your consciousness to unplug from that magnetic, right? And then you can also, now understanding that it's getting replaced. And it's not even so much, it is getting replaced, it's coming back online. You know, we talk about the stargates. All the stargates have been locked down. We talk about the grids. They've all been infiltrated and reverse engineered and locked down, right? All of this has been going on, part of the game. Part of the game. Everybody just, you know, let's just make this as light as possible. It's just been part of the movie set, right? But as this is really starting to unlock and these things are starting to release, the natural, organic, magnetic and electromagnetic of the planet is starting to come back. And so if you intend, if you literally drop into your heart and you intend, I am disconnecting from the distorted, and I am consciously anchoring into the organic, electromagnetic, the magnetics of the planet. I am consciously anchoring into the organic, the natural magnetics of the planet. You're directing your energy. You're telling your body what it wants. You know, you are very powerful. You're very powerful. Don't ever forget that. Your ego's going to tell you you're nothing, right? You don't know what you're doing. You absolutely know what you're doing. And your conscious intention and communication with your body, instructing it every single day, I am unplugging from the distortion and I am plugging into the organic, natural, universal energy of Gaia. That's huge. That takes you light years, literally, guys, light years from the rest.
Raquel, I want to ask your advice on something, because there's such a subconscious programming that whenever we utter those words, that there's a fear that we're going to lose everything that we have. And that may be true, but it may be not. How do you guide people through that? Because it's so subtle and it's such a big shift.
It's huge. It is huge. It's really interesting. And this is where the inner work comes in.
Yeah.
Because and I can only explain it for myself. I've always known. I've had this somewhere deep in my soul. I've always known that everything here was effed up, right? I've just known it. I've always known it, right? And I have cultivated a level of trust in the universe, in source energy. Universe, I use that word, but really source. And ultimately, it is that trust that is going to get you through. It is dropping into the high heart and cultivating that trust. Because as we move out of these old magnetics, which are tied into time, right? Into the linear, into, oh, this happens and then this happens and then this happens and then this happens. Our linear thought process, we're moving, and it's one of those that you just have to keep saying, trust me, it's real. Trust me, it's real. Trust me, it's real. And you have no experience of it. This is an ultimate surrendering into a deep, deep, deep trust of source energy that has to happen. Because once you move into those higher, yes, all of this is going to dissipate. But in those higher magnetics, we are constantly creating. It's not, oh, I have to go to job and wait for the paycheck to come in and oh, then the bank takes, all. It is, it's the magnetics are such that you are in a constant state of creation. And so there isn't, you have everything you need. And that's part of the lockdown that we've had on this planet for thousands and thousands of years, trying to convince us we are not creator beings. We are not able to manifest. And they locked it down so we couldn't. They literally locked it down so we couldn't, right? And so once you move into the new magnetics and those higher states of being, they're that whole fear of, oh my God, I'm not going to have rent next week. There's not even a platform for that to exist upon.
Yeah.
There's nowhere for that to run, because you're just a creator being creating. You're just having fun. And a lot of people don't understand that either, because fun is evil here. I mean, we've been taught, how dare you have fun? Mm-hmm. You're supposed to work hard and give us all your freaking money and be tired and procreate when we tell you to, but not have fun in it. You're supposed to, I mean, all the rules that we have been taught that are so ingrained in the morphogenetic fields of this consciousness.
Great way of putting it. Yeah. Yeah.
That people are even afraid and feel guilty when they have fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And we are, the core of us is love. The core of us is joy. The core of us is playfulness and lightness and co-creative and expansive. That's who we really are. And I so wish that we could just pull the morphogenic fields of all religion and all dogma and all rules and drop in that we're all just light, love, and giggles. I mean, because that's really the essence of who we are. And so that takes a lot of faith to believe that that's coming when everything in this reality has done its very best to convince us otherwise. And I'm not sure if that really helps, except that you need to understand you're constantly being bombarded with those kinds of lies. It's interwoven in everything, in a constant bitch slap, if you will. You are not any good. You are, it's constantly everywhere. But that is what we're evolving out of. Mm-hmm. It's all done. And because everything in the quantum happens in the now, it really is all done. We're just playing it out in this hologram that we think is so real. Mm-hmm. And damn if it's not real when you're smack dab in the middle of it.
Right, for sure. And in the version of interpersonal relationships and the people that we think we're leaving behind, from my perspective, is as we attune to that, we're actually providing a platform for that resonance to occur even more quickly. So
that is absolutely, and here's the thing. The ascension, for all intensive purposes, it's not really a choice.
Right. Thank you.
Okay. It's not a choice at this point. It's not, next lifetime. No, not too hard this time, next lifetime. Okay. We're way beyond that. This is done. We're not doing this anymore. We're in the cleanup mode of all of this. And so I do believe that there are going to be many huge percentage of the population that are not going to be able to make this really quantum jump.
What does that mean?
They are gonna transition out.
That's
right. But because of where we are in this cosmic ascension cycle, there's no more reincarnation, come out, do it again, which we've all been locked into, right? This karmic loop, right? For thousands and thousands of years, this has been going on. That's no longer the case. We have opened up, we are beyond that. So even those that are transitioning, they're going to go through the work just out of body. Mm-hmm. They're just not going to be in a physical body.
Right.
So don't think anybody's getting left behind. Mm-hmm. They're not. So let ex-nay that whole thing. No one is getting left behind. They just get their personal choice of how they're going to go about it. Are they going to stay in a body, which is, woo, that's the Olympic gold medal. Holy shit, why did we choose to do that in the body? Or those that are going to say, yeah, that's a little too hard about here. Not here, I'll do it the easier way, or at least what they think is easy.
Someone knocked me out and I'm do it that way, right? Yeah.
But everybody's going. And yes, you will be leaving. We've all seen it. This has been going on forever. Give me a break. You raise a frequency and your friends don't. Boom, your friends, they don't seem to be around anymore. This has been going on for a really long time. Right now, it's just much more amplified because it's going on. We're hitting a pinnacle that you just can't hang. It's magnetically, you can't do it. I mean, this is back to physics. It's not, oh, I want to be with, my friends. They're not in a resonance that they can hang in your, it's literally a zigzag. going back to the good old secret, mechanics, physics, you just can't be in the same fields.
Yep.
It just doesn't work. And so, yes, that will continue to happen, but you're never alone. That's again, and this is it's really shitty, you guys. I know we've all been through it, but that's a human attachment.
Mm-hmm.
We're all connected. You already are connected to everyone. That losing of the lover or the boyfriend or the child or the family members that, don't believe what you do, that's a human attachment. And yes, we are here having a human experience. We've been doing that for thousands and thousands of years. This particular lifetime is not necessarily about the human experience. It's about transcending it. And so the same really doesn't apply. This is the old game. And we're here to usher in a whole, it's interesting. And I know you can relate to this, John. I know a lot of us can. We have been, we've been on this process in this lifetime for years, some of us decades, right? And there was a really early on, there was a interpretation that spiritual awakening was just poof and bliss, and I'm just gonna manifest all the material things I want, and I'm gonna have, it was a really interesting perception of what the new age and light worker world was thinking the ascension was. Think back to 2012, decade ago, when that Mayan calendar hit, and on that day, poof, we're gonna go into fifth dimension and everything's gonna be bliss. Do you remember that? I mean, we were there was a lot of misinterpretation.
I think it was a beautiful dangling carrot from source as well to guide us along the way.
And it was, right? There's levels on all of it. But I think if you were to really go in and ask this even in the last decade, this spiritual journey hasn't been easy for most people. It's not about the ease and grace. It's about that deep inner drive that you just know that you know that you know, and you want to walk off the path, but you can't, because there's so much depth of truth in what we're doing, even with the ridicule. And mind you, it's pretty minor in this particular day and age. It's not like we're the witches getting hunted or the Inquisition or anything like that, right? Which we've all been through before. But it's still even been a bit of a challenge here to walk our spiritual path and say we believe that something new is coming, right? So the whole, this awakening that we're going through, I want to really honor all of you guys. It's not all peaches and cream. It is not it can be a very, very, very joyful path. But as you know, John, I don't like to sugarcoat anything. There's also really intense stuff we're doing. And it takes a very strong soul that is a very deep calling to walk this path, because we are the forerunners. We are actually building that bridge from the old magnetic to the new one. We're walking through and losing, the collapsing of all the magnetics and all the timelines and everything going on. And we're leading the way. We're in the jungle with the machetes. I can't see what's coming. Let's see. What are we doing? But we know we're doing, right? We are really there's a lot of honor into
the magnetic of that high heart's leading the way, and we're aware and we're letting that guide us.
We're intending. And
Yes.
We're intending for that to happen. It isn't always the truth. Sometimes we get pulled out. It's like, wait, I'm off. What have I done? Wait, I'm really, because the releasing of the old and the ego. And everybody, we've talked about the ego. The ego is important. The ego's kept you safe. The ego's done all of that. In the old paradigm, in the old magnetic, that was true. The ego cannot follow us. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people are, but I thought the ego was, really good, kept us safe and all of that kind of stuff. It's not even true to that anymore. So there's just a lot where we're being asked to only go from the heart to really understand and to continue to choose to be on this path. But the understanding that there's so many things even in the magnetic world, that it's not just I'm going to sit in my heart. There's a lot going on that affects your biology, that affects your chemical. It's affecting your hormones. It's affecting your sleep patterns. It's affecting your digestion. I mean, our whole body is going through a lot of challenges right now because of the shift in the magnet. And it's not in your head.
It's not. It's
very real. And I guess that's why I really wanted to talk about it, because, not a lot, but there's a few out there that, are always talking that everything is just bliss. And it is, but the transition can be challenging. That's where we're headed. And you can be in bliss, but also to not deny that the body's going through a lot, that this is a physical change that is happening. It's an energetic, it's a magnetic, and it's very disorienting at times.
Yeah, it sure is.
And just to know that, because that can help people go, oh my God, I'm not failing, right? There goes that ego again. I'm not doing this right. Right?
Well, something that you bring in, which is wonderful. And again, it's in the special offer, y'all. And so April, I'm going to ask you to put the link in the chat box, please. Or you guys can also type into the web browser Beyond the Ordinary Show /Raquel27, the number 27, and take you to the same page, because you're providing support. You're providing resonant frequencies that will help people clear from that, what's been holding us, that collapsing structure, and really support us on a physical, spiritual, and energetic level as well. And these are what you're calling the emerald crystalline energies. And y'all are hearing, Raquel, you're hearing the structure. I know so many of y'all are writing, it's like, this makes sense. Thank you for the explanation. It's allowing the mind to catch up with what we know is happening. It's another phase of transition that allows for more of the grace rather than the suffering to go through. And as light workers, light walkers, if you will, it's so important, because the more that you're in alignment with those frequencies, the more that we affect, again, not Earth, but the whole universe that is shifting. It is not just Earth.
It's not, and I tried to bring it back down here, because we're all just human in the moment, right? But this is, this is way beyond Earth. This is past the solar system. This is past the galaxy. This is past this universe. The whole multiverse is in process of ascension. I mean, and we exist through all of them. Right? You exist here in this particular universe in thousands and thousands of bodysuits, and then you exist in other universes in the multiverse in thousands and thousands of bodysuits. And what's happening right now with the ascension and with the release of the magnetics is that there's a bleed over. And as we come back, I mean, the name of the game of ascension is coming back into wholeness. That's it, right? We are reintegrating aspects of ourselves and bringing it back into balance and back into wholeness. And right now, even we're even accessing things in the multiverse that are ready to clear, ready to integrate, ready to come back to bring, it's like we're magnetizing all of ourselves back to us. And that high heart magnet, if you will, right? That frequency of your high heart is what actually is pulling you, your unique signature frequency. And again, this is bigger than our concepts, our brains can really wrap around, because ultimately we're all one. But we came in individualized frequencies. I want to go play here and I want to play here. No, I want to be in the Pleiades for a while, but then I want to be over in, the second multiverse. And, I want to go play. I mean, we wanted to do it all, right? So aspects of us went out, but as we continue to bring those back in, the wholeness of the consciousness as creator beings that we are brings us back into just such higher states of consciousness. So that's happening as well. And as the earth opens up and her emerald energies coming from her emerald heart starts to open, it actually affects our frequencies and our magnetics. And so this particular package I put together was helping to harmonize and bring you back into alignment with those emerald frequencies that are coming from the planetary heart, but that actually resonate throughout the whole multiverse as well. And I know that sometimes that's a little big, and it's like, no, I just want to know what to do for lunch tomorrow, right? It's like, just give me one. But all of it plays together, because you are bringing yourself back into wholeness. Absolutely. Through the way that the planet is opening up, the way her frequency is opening, it allows our frequency to open, right? As she gets unlocked, we are getting unlocked. Because ultimately, even the planet and us are one at a very, very, very high level of consciousness. I know that's a little, can't quite go there, right? But that's why what's happening on the planet, that's why what's happening in the universe, that's why what's happening in the multiverse makes a difference to you, because ultimately you resonate and you are part of all of it. You're really big being. You're huge and you're amazing. And you're stuck in this little hologram that makes you think you're really small and separate. And that's what we're busting through. That's what we're here doing.
And we've got these codes that are helping us to break through also. So I love that you talk, there's some really profound items in here. And I went straight to syncing with the sun codes. It's like,
well, and even since I put this package together, the solar disk and the Rishik suns are starting to come into alignment. I mean, there's so much happening in a 24-hour linear period in our reality. It's so hard to even keep up, right? But yeah, the solar disks, the sun codes, all the different suns are starting to line up in the universe. And when we say line up, it's an energetic, right? It's not a physical, the way we see it, but the way we see is distorted as well. The spectrum of what we can see is distorted as well, because those electromagnetic has been distorted as well. That's a whole nother talk, John. Talk about that. There's just so much, you guys, and I'm honored that we're all here together. I mean, the team that is here, and if I could say one thing, please don't doubt the magnitude of who you are and the part you play. If you could only understand the magnitude of who you are and the part that you play, because you got your butt into a body on this planet at this time. There's only so many of us that could come in. And you're one of them.
Yeah.
And what you're doing and the way you continuously realign to the heart, back to the heart. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I know it's all illusion. I know I'm source. I know I'm source, and keep walking this path, because this is a collective ascension. We're all going. This is a collective. It's collection ascension, or collection ascension. It's not just the individual. We've already done that.
Yeah.
You've heard of ascended masters? Yeah, well, we've been some of those,
Mhm.
right? That's not, no, it's a collective ascension. So you play a massive part, and don't let anybody tell you different.
Mhm. It's beautiful, Raquel, and thank you for putting this together, y'all. Again, the special offer link, it's in the chat box. I'll pop it in there again if it's not in there already. Well, it isn't already, like 3 times, but if you can't find it, we'll pop it in again. But again, awakening your emerald energies. And Raquel, give us more of a linear aspect of what people are going to be receiving as they immerse themselves in these upgrades, in this recoding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are in a sequential order, right? So the activations that are there, and these are, guys, these are 50 to 60-minute activations. These are full on. And I always like to kind of remind people, my work is very physical.
Yeah.
Very physical. Oh, and by the way, if you guys are having, the physical heart palpitations, or, feeling like you're having a heart attack, always follow your own guidance. But this is the heart opening, guys. And it can be physically painful. You can physically feel like, oh my God, what's happening as your heart expands. It can have, you can feel it, right? Or the heart palpitations that start going for a little bit and then they calm back down. That's the electromagnetic trying to realign with the new magnetics coming on the planet. I mean, so there's a lot of physical sensation that can happen, and I want to remind people of that. But these are really all about continuing to bring you into higher frequencies and higher octaves. And this is working on your chemical. This is working on your biology. This is working on your energetics. This is working on your light body. All those levels. Okay. So it's not just one piece of it. It works through the entire system, all the way down to the subatomic, through the cellular, all the way through into your energetic fields, and then your light body, and the end one starting to go even into your crystalla light body, which is, we talk about light bodies. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of levels of the light body. Right? It's not, oh, I'm going into my light body. No, it's like, it's a constant. There are different levels of it. So this is what this is bringing you into. And again, it's to align you with the new magnetics that are coming on the planet. It is to open your heart and get that magnetic in with the first of all, the planetary heart. And then as the planetary heart moves through the multiverse, and how getting that sync all the way through that emerald, and it brings it even into the tanzanite, higher frequencies of light. There are colors that I don't even have words for in these activations that are frequencies, the crystalline waters coming back in and activating through your systems. There's so much that happens. I bring these through, and it's like, how do I name this? There was so much that happened, and then so much that happened beyond what happened. It's difficult. But this is all about bringing you back into alignment with the highest heart resonance of the planet and the multiverse, to clear and upgrade your bodies.
Beautiful. You say it's sequential. How much time in between would you suggest between each one of these transmissions? It depends.
Yes, thank you. It depends. This is not a race. Your body, you have to give your body time to integrate this. And again, it's not just energetic work I'm doing. This is physical work. This is physical, cellular, subatomic level that I'm working at. So you have to give your body a chance to integrate it. So I usually say a week. People can never wait. I say at least 2 days. Follow, 2 to 3 days. Follow your intuition. But this isn't a race, guys. If you're just listening to them, boom, 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 it's like, don't bother, because you're not allowing yourself to integrate this. This is very, very, very high level work to really amplify your ability to step into higher states of consciousness. So, and as I always say, follow your heart. And some of them you might listen to once, and some you might do 3 or 4 times. You might just keep getting hit. Oh, I got to do that one again. Oh, I got to do that one again. Oh, okay. Ooh, okay, I think I'm done. Move on to the next one. But always follow your guidance and intuition, not your ego and wanting to do fast pace. That makes sense?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is wonderful, Raquel. Thank you for putting this together. Everybody, again, the links in the chat box. These transmissions, again, awakening the multiverse, emerald crystalline energies. And again, this also goes, people have been talking about the dragon, the emerald dragon, and the awakening of Gaia, and different transmissions that are coming through. There's an alignment with this. You may have heard different terminology for a phenomena that we're experiencing. And Raquel, as you feel it on today's call, as you're listening to the replay, or even on the replay as a brand new call, you can feel what it's awakening in you. The explanations, relaxing the mind, it's relaxing the body. The intelligence that's flowing through provides a gateway for that high heart to be guided into even further expansion and being even more comfortable in the not knowingness, knowing that it knows.
Yes.
Which is, right?
There's a level of surrender that's required, that you just have to go into to do this work. And the explanation of the physicality that's going on, I hope that can relax the mind. I'm not going schizophrenic just because I can't remember, what I was doing or why I walked into the room, or, I've kind of lost some language, and, the weird stuff that's going on, those things are collapsing. So I hope this puts some perspective on that, and able to relax into it and surrender into it a little bit more. Now that your mind has a little bit, okay. I can take a breath now. There's a logical explanation why I'm feeling X, Y, and Z, and then be able to sink into and surrender into the process deeper, because we've never done this before, you guys. We've ascended. We're all ascension specialists. We all are. Every single one of you listening are, but we've never done it from this level of density before. So it's a new ballgame. And hell yes, we all like challenges. That's all why we all lined up. We just got down here and went, ooh, what?
Yeah, y'all take advantage of it. Again, the link's in the chat box. It's $149. There's a 2 payment option if you like that as well. And as always, it's a 30-day money back guarantee. It makes it a no-brainer, thank goodness, to dive in. You're not going to, the only way you're not going to return is because you didn't open it up and didn't use it, and your mind told you something else. Other than that, the second
bingo,
bingo,
exactly.
And it's amazing. And how many of you all can relate to this? And this is what this is opening for me as well. That you don't know, but you know. And it's that, but I know, that keeps us, that's that trust that Raquel was talking about earlier. And that's for me is also faith and trust, but you just know. And that's why y'all on this call, you don't know, but you know that you know. Just feel into that. It's powerful. And that's how big, that's how powerful you really are. You really are. That's beautiful, Raquel. Y'all take advantage of the special offer. The link's in the chat box. I'll type it in again myself. And dive in. This is amazing. And of course, we're gonna have Raquel on. We're not done today. Raquel, there's people asking for clearings or activations from you today. Are you open to guiding something?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just taking a quick gander at, I just put the chat on myself.
So many questions coming in.
Through it for,
That's a good one. Yeah.
yeah, let's go ahead and let's do some work. Never know what's gonna do, because I am just the facilitator. I'm just letting it flow through me. So everybody good with that? You good with that, John?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's
Yes.
drop in. Let's drop in. I always say drop in because I know we're all not in our hearts all the time. So let's move into our high heart. And everybody just close your eyes. And I want you to take a beautiful, nice, deep breath down into your high heart, or up into your high heart, or sideways, whatever way you get there. And as you take this beautiful awareness down into your high heart, I just want you to hear from that infinite knowing the truth that you are an incredible, incredible being of light. And I just want you to feel into that. And if you're feeling doubt, or your ego's getting in the way of that, I want you to just notice it and just allow it to wash off. And I want you to come back in and remember that you are source energy, 100%. You've never been anything but. And just feel that, just allow that to permeate through your mind and through your body. And take another beautiful, nice, deep breath. And just relax into that. You have never been anything but source energy. But you had the courage, the willingness to sign up for so many different roles within this beautiful experience. So many different lifetimes, just to go and see what's possible. And every time you've done that, you've taken a leap of faith. And just remember that as well. The courage and the zest for the adventure. And this might be the wildest adventure any of us ever said yes to. Because ultimately, you know deep in your soul that regardless of whatever is playing out, whatever is playing on that movie reel that's projecting around you, is nothing more than the illusion that in your core, you have always been source energy. Just really move into that. And breathe that in one more time, just that immense knowing. Find it. Even if it's hidden way behind, find that truth that you are source. And in the name of divine source and the light that I am, I ask that I be a clear, pure, and divine instrument in service to your higher self, to the truth of who you are as a divine being of light. We're going to pull in that incredible emerald energy. That emerald that is already bouncing into higher streams of consciousness and that is fully anchored in the truth of this experience here on Gaia. That emerald heart energy pulsing through, and let it reverberate throughout your fields and all the way down into your subatomic adamantine level of your cellular structure. We're just going to completely douse you in that emerald frequency. The emerald heart levels, and we're also going to start pulling in the emerald womb levels from the second universe within this multiverse, the womb levels as well. And we're just going to allow that heart frequency, that emerald heart frequency, emanate throughout your fields and begin to work at the level of the magnetics, the electrical and the magnetic levels of your body and your energetic systems, loosening the grip, if you will, loosening the connection. Yes, loosening the connection to the magnetic that you are currently anchored into, and doing it all from the state of source energy and heart energy that emanates from the core of this beautiful planet, this beautiful emerald dragon being of light that is our ride through the cosmos, our ride through this solar system, our ride through this galaxy. Take another nice deep breath. You may start to feel all kinds of things going on behind your eyes, almost like Morse code happening, and all the way down your neck. But I want you to feel the love emanating as well. There's absolutely nothing to fear on any level of this hologram. Absolutely nothing to fear. There's nothing that can harm you if you come from the state of complete heart resonance. That emanation of the heart frequency and that knowingness that you are source energy and that frequency emanating from your fields and from the core of your high heart literally makes it impossible for the lower frequencies to interact. When you hold this frequency strong and vibrant through your fields 24/7, that's the goal. Those lower frequencies and the lower magnetics that are still playing out, there's nothing to connect to. There's nothing to plug into. That's the beauty of having the conscious awareness to hold a frequency that is so strong and a surrendering into the truth that is so strong that the lower frequencies have absolutely nothing to hold on to in your fields. Beautiful. Take another nice deep breath. You may be feeling quite a bit going on in your feet chakras. There's a disconnection that is happening to old magnetics that you are able and willing at a conscious level to release. Oh, wow, there we go, there we go, there we go. Beautiful. Woo! And in this moment, I want you to make a conscious choice to unplug from the mass consciousness and the lower magnetics that are playing out. Consciously choose it and unplug, whatever that looks like. Make it fun, dance around, see yourself doing it, unplugging from every level of that mass consciousness grids around the planet that are still so distorted and playing off the old magnetic. And as you do, you can see that emerald heart frequency just emanate. It's like the hue of that emerald green just amplifies exponentially. And you may begin to see some incredible colors of the blue, the royal purple, the gold, all of which are emanating through the emerald heart right now as well. And as you continue to anchor in to the truth that you are source, that you are already perfect and divine in the higher realms. And as you continue to anchor that into this level of consciousness, your ability to stay grounded within this high heart portal amplifies. Many of you are feeling quite a bit going on in the crown, at the back of the fourth eye. Many of you may be feeling tingling all across the top of the head and down the spine. That's all perfect. It's divine and fully aligned with what your higher self is allowing me to assist you with. I'm purely the mechanic. Beautiful. And take one more nice deep breath and just feel how completely supported you are in this energy. This is much more of who you truly are than your ego will ever want you to realize. Beautiful, beautiful. Take one more nice deep breath. And allow that beautiful emerald energy align you more fully. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And just set your intention to be fully aligned with your highest potential in each and every moment. And then with that breath, go ahead and open your eyes back up and anchor that into who you are right now, wherever you're sitting. Beautiful.
And you guys come back slowly and gently in your own time. And allow yourself to feel that wave. I still feel it flowing through me so powerfully. So wonderful.
Some of you might feel have blurriness in your eyes for the next couple of days. There was a lot going on with the optical nerves. So don't worry about that. Just don't even.
I felt that so deeply, Raquel. Thank you. Thank you. With that, y'all, it's the special offer link is in the chat box. It'll go out in the email. You can click on it there, beyondtheordinaryshow.com/Raquel27. The replay will go out in an email. And it's in the sacredness of this piece, Raquel, I want to thank you. Thank you as we allow everybody, as everybody allows themselves to feel the bigness of who they are in this energy.
You guys are all such important players in this evolution. Thank you.
So beautiful.
Thank you for
Blessings.
tuning in and being who you are.
Blessings, blessings, blessings. Thank you, Raquel. Thank you, everybody.